Bienvenue, Wemby, bienvenue.
Blood, sweat, and tears written in the blacks and kings. One in a million, the billions that have to say.
It's a dream come true. It's incredible.
Jamais j'aurais pu imaginer d'aller au Hall of Fame.
Moi, j'aimerais beaucoup être en NBA, en équipe de France.
Avec le Canada, c'est la France qui produit le plus de jeunes qui vont ensuite jouer dans la NBA.
La Ligue américaine est de très loin celle où on court le plus vite, on saute le plus haut.
Pour les clubs français, ce qui est difficile, c'est qu'à peine ont-ils eu le temps de profiter de l'exposition de ces joueurs et de leur talent, qu'ils sont déjà partis.
French basketball got an American turbo boost this summer. In June, Victor Wembanyama joined the San Antonio Spurs. The first French player to be the NBA's #1 draft pick.
People have been showing me love so far, a lot of love, and I think I can give all this back to the fans, to the community, to the franchise, and to the city.
Vincent Collet, the French national team's coach since 2009, trained him last year.
C'est quand même
It's a lot of talent in one person. His size and his agility that's unlike most players his height. He's smart too.
C'est quelqu'un d'intelligent.
A 2-meter, 24 mega talent, who stood out immediately for the voice of the NBA in France, sports commentator George Eddy.
C'est pas possible! Vous avez vu ça, messieurs, dames? Don't go Rama!
I saw it straight away. I thought, this kid is the French Karim Abdul-Jabbar. At 15, he already had perfect technique. I did beat him, though.
C'est soit je me repose sur mes lauriers et puis je finis bizarrement, ou soit je fais ça et je finis ma carrière en beauté.
And a career high is exactly what Tony Parker achieved when he was inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame in August.
Tony Parker, qui est le joueur emblématique.
Tony Parker has had the best career of all in French basketball, by winning 4 championships and the MVP in 2007. That's a first for a European. People said he wasn't strong, he wasn't nimble enough, but he would say, I'm very fast. And I noticed very quickly that he was one of the fastest in the world.
But Parker wasn't the first Frenchman to make it into the big league. Players broke into the NBA in the 1990s.
The first French player to really play in the NBA was Tariq Abdul-Wahad. He really got the ball rolling.
Le basket français a besoin quand même d'un boost, de montrer que c'est une nation qui sait jouer au basket.
And then after Tariq Abdul-Wahad, Tony Parker, Boris Diaw, all the sports scouts came in their droves to France. The know-how French players have gained over the years can be seen at INSEP and training centres in each professional club in France. This is where young people are trained. INSEP is the crème de la crème.
INSEP, the National Institute of Sport, a rite of passage for France's greatest talents.
dès l'âge de 10 ans. Devenir adulte avec les infos comme mentor, c'est éclater les tranches de ce.
Most athletes join at 15 years old, with an impressive alumni like Knicks player Evan Fournier.
You had to take charge of yourself and be autonomous. You learned professional life, taught us how to live in a group. It was an introduction to high-level sport. In France, there is more emphasis on development and collective understanding. In the US, it's more about personal development.
Aux États-Unis, c'est plutôt le développement personnel.
44 French players have made it into the NBA over the past 30 years. More than a third went through the unforgiving training here.
Moi, c'est ça que j'ai du mal à comprendre dans votre démarche. J'ai du mal à comprendre. Et on a eu de la chance, de la grande opportunité d'entraîner des joueurs il n'y a pas, même pas 1 an, 2 ans. Ils sont aujourd'hui en NBA. Un exemple que vous connaissez tous, parce que vous avez tous été ici avec lui, Ryan. Mais Ryan, il s'entraînait mais 1 million de fois de plus que toi, Soprano. Il faisait 1 million de fois plus d'efforts que toi.
On a beaucoup de jeunes qui sont des joueurs très athlétiques.
We've got a lot of young people who are very athletic, and the NBA looks out for that. What changes is the competition. Young American players are often faced with more competition. Even on public playgrounds, you have to win to stay on the court, so you're tough from the get-go. When French players come up against American competition, you need to raise your game, and sometimes it's difficult to do.
Lorsqu'ils rencontrent la concurrence américaine, il faut élever encore son niveau, et ça, c'est parfois difficile à faire.
A challenge Nathan Sullivan is facing head-on. 14 years old and already more than 2 meters tall. His daily schedule is that of a pro.
In a typical week, we have 25 to 30 hours of sport, 1 hour of weights a day.
Nathan joined INSEP 2 years earlier than most recruits. Plucked from a club because of his extraordinary talent and focus.
I'd really like to play in the NBA and for France. The French national team is important to me because I had a great experience with them in the European Championships. And I want to play in the NBA like all basketball players, of course.
But it's not always easy when the two worlds collide. A different culture and even different rules.
It's different in the play. The NBA is a lot faster, tougher, athletic. You have to prove yourself when you're European. They have stereotypes about the French, about European players that you have to fight back against, although it's starting to change.
What sort of stereotypes?
They'd say we were soft, can only shoot, that our heart wasn't really into it.
Juste des joueurs qui savent tirer, qui ont pas vraiment de cœur, etc.
Si un joueur français comme Wembanyama peut aider...
If Wembanyama can help the Spurs to victory again, no one's going to criticize him for being French.
Ne va vouloir critiquer le fait que Victor Wembanyama soit français.
The NBA is a big business. It's typically American. It's the results and the performance that count.
Et la performance qui compte.
Business first. In 2022, the NBA's annual revenue reached $10 billion, according to Forbes. The French league Betclic Elite only €5 million. For NBA guru Bastien Fontaineux, the straight-talking host and founder of Trash Talk,
puisque toute cette journée est dédiée à la franchise des Spurs de San Antonio dans le Texas,
French basketball just can't compete.
C'est incomparable.
You can't compare it. The NBA is a basketball league, but it's also a business with businesses within the business. There are financial institutions with huge budgets. Players can be paid between 3 and 5 million per year, and up to 40 to 50 million per season in the US.
Par an, jusqu'à 40 à 50 millions la saison.
So where does that leave French clubs in this lucrative equation?
I think the biggest losers in the system where people leave quickly is the French league. Because you don't even have the time to create the marketing, revenues, and a sort of enthusiasm for the players. It can be a little bit sad. But if you ask the clubs, they're very happy to see them come back every summer because the players are keen to see their towns, their fans again. It also gives them style and prestige.
Ça leur apporte quand même un certain cachet, un certain prestige de formation.
On ne va jamais être compétitif sur un plan économique.
We're never going to be competitive economically unless some big companies decide to invest, so we can rival the Real Madrids and the big Turkish or Greek clubs where they have massive budgets. The problem is they also have another fiscal system. They pay a lot less in tax and fewer contributions, and that's not going to change.
Victor Wembanyama's last club, Metropolitans 92, is estimated to have made €2 million from his transfer. But not enough to prevent them from almost folding this summer. Proof the French model does have its limits. So, where to go from here?
To go further, we need to continue the work that's been done, spot talent and improve training.
You could get more sponsors to keep the best players for longer.
But does that mean moving to a 100% American model? Of course not. But we could borrow a few things: the way they function, how they set up their season, promote their players.
Take inspiration from the Americans? Why not? Despite a disappointing World Cup this summer, basketball is thriving in France, with 700,000 club members and the next Tony Parkers already in the starting blocks. For now, though, French fans need to keep watching their greatest players from the other side of the Atlantic.